Hello, everybody. My name is Bill. Welcome back to the off-season. Welcome to the off-season portion of the NCAA Football 07 Dynasty Mode series. As you can see, I'm about to go into the top 25 polls because it has been updated after bowl season, and I did not prepare for it in my script. I'll be honest. So I'm just going to read it right off the screen here. As you can see, McNary Central, national champs, number 1. Penn State's number 2, Oklahoma's number 3, number 4 is Texas, 5 is Auburn, 6 is Florida State, 7 Wisconsin, number 8 is Ohio State, 9 is Arkansas, 10 is Northern Illinois, 11 is Missouri, 12th is West Virginia, 13th is Iowa, 14th is Arizona State, 15th is Oregon, 16th is Tennessee, 17th is Minnesota, 18th is Louisiana Tech, 19th is Notre Dame, 20th is Michigan, 21st USC, 22nd Boise State, 23rd is Navy, 24th is San Diego State, who replaces Colorado, and rounding out our top 25 is Florida. For the coaches, media, they agree with the coaches that McNary Central's number 1, number 2 is Penn State, 3 is Oklahoma, 4 is Texas, 5 is Auburn. They say Wisconsin should be number 6, Ohio State should be number 7, 8 Arkansas, 9th Florida State, 10th Northern Illinois, 11th Missouri, 12th Iowa, 13th Oregon, 14th Arizona State, 15th West Virginia, 16th is Tennessee, number 17 is Notre Dame, 18th is Minnesota, 19th is Louisiana Tech, 20th is Michigan, 21st is Boise State, 22nd is USC, 23rd is the Navy, 24th is Florida, and Colorado just barely stays in here in the media top 25. And with it being the off season now, I think I said this in a few other videos that I will go through every single conference and in some cases and even go through all the divisions. I'm going to choose to just go through the divisions so that way I don't get as burned out. And we are not going to start off with my division. The spoiler be the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. It'll be the 9th episode of this little series. So, it'll take me a little while to get to that, considering I got all these Big Ten teams here, which there's 11 teams, which this can be a fun one to talk about, considering the little controversy that was here in the Big Ten, but that's not here just yet. We are going to start by evaluating the Atlantic Division of the ACC. Starting off with the champions of this division, Florida State. As you can see, their record was 12-2, 8-0 in conference play. Their best win was Week 5 at Georgia Tech, 56-12, just deciding to demolish the team that went to the national championship just the year before. The worst loss, they had 2 losses, a 45-42 loss to Florida in Week 13, but the worst of the 2 was, of course, against me at McNary Central, 224-0. They're great. They got great scoring offense and good rushing attack and good defense when it comes to getting sacks and interceptions. Their improvement is just not to have McNary Central on the schedule. Although since I created McNary Central schedule, depending on where I am at the beginning of the year and who all I want to throw on there. My thoughts, Florida State finishes this year being the only ranked team in the ACC, which is really sad considering when we get to the Big Ten how many teams are ranked there. Here. They have the talent to succeed and improve even more, so they're not going to just rebuild, they're going to not rebuilding, they're going to be reloading and recruiting. They also suffered a close loss, like I said, to in-state rival Florida, and paired with the Gators 45-42. But they need to avoid putting the Bobcats on their schedule. I mean, they are dominant in their conference and in their division, And nothing looks like we'll end it soon, in my opinion. Now we go to one of three created teams that I will be talking about in this evaluation. All of these are before 10 episodes. We now have the Mickey Devils, a team located in Tennessee, being in the ACC Atlantic Division. Well, that's just video game logic for you. As you can see, they finished with a record of 7-5. Their best win was in Week 9 against Duke at home, 50-7, and their worst loss was in Week 3 to Virginia, 63-29. Excuse me there. I have to say their greatest is that they are a team that ratings-wise can match up and keep up with Florida State easily. Like, they only lost by 5 to them, 28-23 in the regular, this year. So they have the ability, they have the capability to possibly beat them given the right circumstance. But one thing they need to improve is one thing and one thing only: consistency. The Devils have the talent to, like Florida State, to be successful in the ACC Atlantic. Like I said, they lost about 5 points in their season matchup this year, so they can keep up with them. They can be able to be close with them. They could have even won the division, but one thing is keeping them from that, and that one thing, like I said, is consistency. Here's why I say that. They won their Week 2 matchup by over 20. Then they lost their Week 3 matchup, like I said, to Virginia by over 20, just to go back and win by nearly 20 again. If they can gain some consistency next season, they will easily be a big threat to all of the ACC. And now, yes, even though NC State has the better record, they lost a matchup to Maryland, so Maryland gets the third seeding here. Here, as you can see, they finished with a record of 5-7, 4-4 in conference play. And like I said, their best win was against, like I said, North Carolina State. They barely won at 17-7, and their worst loss was Week 4 to Mickey, 44-28. You know, if I remember the first episode, I said that Maryland was always that monkey on Mickey's back that kept him kind of down. They beat him, but they still have that consistency problem. But, and I looked through Maryland's roster, and they do have great talent for the future. That's something that they do have, but the improvement I have for them, and it's just something that they hope can happen, that they pan out well. Maryland has had some promise for this season, but sub 500 wasn't the way to go for the way they thought their season was going to go. They're losing a lot of players this year, needing top talents to come to them. I don't know how successful they'll be with that. We will get to recruiting after all these episodes, so that's something to look forward to. They'll have a young team next year, and that might hurt them in the Atlantic. And because, if you don't have a good team here, you might get screwed. But also luck could be on your side. They better hope luck's going to be on their side. And they hope that this won't lead to sign of mediocrity and terrible play. And now let's talk about the Wolfpack here in NC State. They finished 8-5, with their best win being Week 4 at North Carolina, 55-21. A lot of these best wins are like blowout wins, just to let you know. I don't try to keep the close games on there unless I feel like they were significant at that moment in time. And their worst loss was Week 8 to Mickey as well, 42-14. Now, their greats is they have a top-notch defense, one of the best in the conference, one of the best in the nation. The thing is, though, they need to be more efficient on third down. They were like 55% on third down, which is not the best of ways to go with a football team. Granted, they won 8-5, but I feel like they won more based off their defense, give them good field position, than their offense actually producing. Wolfpack impressed me this year, but they only ended up at 500 for the conference play. They need to focus more on offense for recruiting because defense can only get you so far. And if you can't convert the third downs, and continue to keep drives alive, because defense will get tired very quickly, and next you know you go from an 8-5 season to a 5-7 season. Or you could get lucky like Clemson and receive a bowl game bid at 5-7, and they were lucky to win to go 6-7, which was their best win in my opinion. Bowl week game against Louisville. What was it? The Meineke Car Care Bowl, something like that. 23-18, and their worst loss was, well, they faced me as well, but I wasn't going to put that as their worst loss. Because, let's face it, that'd be 13 times I'd end up on team's worst loss lists. Although I might do that for South Carolina, considering their loss to me really down-spiraled their season. And future video ideas come into play here. But for Clemson's worst loss, I'd say, other than mine, their worst loss was back in Week 11 at Florida State, 31-10. Their Greece, they beat the Big East runner-up in Louisville. Now, granted, Louisville was just coming off a loss to San Jose State. But hey, they cashed in on the opportunity of a team that was feeling a little down on their luck and came up big here. Their improvements, though, they need to live up to their expectations. Like, they had high expectations this year. They were ranked in the preseason. They were ranked up there pretty well for a good portion. And then they just decided to collapse as, let's see, no, we don't want to fully advance to the offseason and get all the stuff started just yet. As you can see, like, they were 3-1 heading into week 4. Then they lose to Mickey 42-17, and then, like, they just suffered bad loss after bad loss, but bounced back with the Georgia Tech win. And you see, like, they had a good team. They had a very good team. That's one reason why I put them on my schedule, is because I saw that they had a very good week. Not a very good week, a very good team. And I felt like they would have been my best opponent. But I just happened to catch them on the wrong side of the season. They underperformed badly, as I've been saying, didn't live up to expectations. Finishing with sub 500. The only positive here is that they won a bowl game, though some people would argue they shouldn't have been in it. I will definitely get to that point when I get to who is it? I want to say Ball State. When I get to the MAC and get to Ball State, I will definitely talk in a bit more detail on that. They have talent, but let's see where this talent will take them next year. Hopefully better than 6-7, maybe 7-6, maybe 8-5. Maybe they'll surprise us out of the blue and win the Atlantic. You never know. And Boston College. Oh, Boston College. How I always love talking about you in the bottom 10. And which they went 2-10, 1-7 in conference play. Their only other win came against an FCS school. So their pick for best win was basically no other option, with their Week 10 win against Georgia Tech, 35-28, being their best win. And their worst loss was Week 3 at Florida State, which was 56-3. I remember saying that when I made that matchup with Florida State and who was it? Georgia Tech? No. I think it was Virginia Tech actually for that matchup. But anyways, like I said, a grade for them is that they were always a good talking point for the bottom 10 because the year before they were the 4-8 team that somehow, someway made it into a bowl game. And they got demolished. No surprise there. And I was wondering if this year they would have tried to prove me on why they should have been in there. And they proved me right on why they should not have been in there. Like I said, and their improvements just improve. Seriously, you went 2-10, and you gotta go up from here. Hopefully they can be able to do that. Like this team went 4-9 last year and made it to a bowl game. They proved why they didn't deserve to be in that bowl game. They have some young talent to hopefully get them out of bottom 10 relevancy, but we'll have to see. If not, I'll enjoy talking about them in the bottom 10 even more. They should try to do better than this year, otherwise they might be challenged San Jose State and Kansas for the bottom 10 championship next season as well. And that's going to be it for the ACC Atlantic evaluation. As the next episode, we will discuss, of course, now the Coastal Division, which seems to have a few interesting talking points. And Georgia Tech, they go from national champion runner-ups to 4-8. That's going to be a fun thing to talk about. But until then, I will see you all next time.